Okay, welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. We're doing another New Wave Toys video because I got yet another item. You know what this is from the thumbnail, but I wanted to tell a funny story about this. New Wave Toys has made some great stuff. You've got all those little arcade machines. You've got the 1980s Walkman power bank, which I got and I do like, and a number of other items. The one that is sort of relevant here is, okay, for all those arcade machines, they all use a sort of USB connector to charge up, and my one and only charge machine that I have has kind of maxed out after all these little gizmos that I've bought. So I need another USB device. That's what this is, and we're going to open it up. But what's funny is another thing that New Wave Toys made not too long ago, about a year ago or so, they made a Coke machine. And I thought, well, that's kind of neat, and you can put cans of Coke inside there and all that kind of stuff. And it is relevant and appropriate to a little mini arcade, but I just thought, no. I don't want a Coca-Cola machine in my display. I don't want to be promoting a corporation that is not particularly appealing to me. And also, Coca-Cola, well, that's not a very healthy item. I mean, who wants to have that kind of soda pop machine in your collection and giving the wrong message? You know, I'm far too sensible and far too rational to do anything like that. Yes, far too logical, rational, sophisticated for something as unhealthy as a Coca-Cola machine. So what did I get? I got a cigarette machine. Yeah, this is awesome. Whenever I saw this, advertised a while ago, story about that in a second, I was just like, oh yes, I will totally get a cigarette machine, which is a USB charger, just like that charge machine. And I just thought to myself, yeah, when I saw this advertised, I was like, oh, heck yes, give me a cigarette machine. I'm too sophisticated and I don't want anything unhealthy like a Coca-Cola machine in my midst, but a cigarette machine, heck yeah, sign me up. Now, the funny thing is, I remember these machines. I remember little vending machines where you pop your quarter in, you pull the little plunger, whatever this is, and a cigarette pack would roll out down below. Now, I was a kid of the 70s. Like, I didn't smoke or anything, but they were around and I remember these devices. So when New Wave Toys mentioned they were going to do this as a USB charger, I thought, that's perfect. I need a charging machine for all my little arcade units. And a cigarette machine is weirdly, like, it's time appropriate. It makes sense for arcade machines at the time. So we're gonna fire this thing up and check it all out. It's really, really cool. But what does it come with? So we've got these are replacement face plates. There's one that looks like an arcade thing, and there's one that's like a variation on this theme. I'll get to that in a second. We've also got the power cord, because we're going to be plugging this in, and then all of our machines to this. So that's good. I wonder how long that is. Hope it's a good length. This has with it some accessories. There's some standard black plastic feet that came, but there's also, because I did this as a pre-sale, we get these little metal feet, which I think is the one I'm going to go for. And in addition, we got a service manual. In addition, given its New Wave Toys and their fascination with making things appropriate and miniature scale with like the coins and that, you actually have little cigarette packs, a lighter, an ashtray, and I think there are 2 individual cigarettes inside there as well. That's hilarious. Again, I'm not a smoker. I don't have any connection to any of this stuff, but for them to go to that extra distance, I think that's hilarious. Now, I've waited a long time for this thing. Again, I did the pre-order. I get these steel legs. I did the pre-order in September of 2023. I waited a year and 3 months for this thing to arrive. So I'm quite happy, but also a little like, what the heck took so long? However, I've got it now. That's the important thing. And I have one concern about the face, about the actual guts of the machine here. I've seen a few people on Reddit posting horrific pictures of like their space behind the plexiglass is all dusty and gross and dirty. And in fact, Lazy Game Reviews, he just got his, and for his, there was actually what he thought was a hair. Turned out it was a scratch on the inside of the plate. So I'm worried that this plexiglass little screen here is delicate and prone to breakage or dirt. So far through this plastic bag, it looks okay to me. Let's have a closer look. Moment of truth for the reveal. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that faceplate. There's no scratches, no dirt, no nothing. Thank goodness. I am not going to change this out. Again, from the post on Reddit, you can see here what the green variation of this looks like. And that's inside here behind this retro arcade New Wave Toys thing. But I like this. I like the, we actually have little variations on real cigarette vending brands. These are not, it's not actually Marlboro. I think it's Marlboro's, whatever. And of course, Cool, the well-known cigarette vending machine of the time. It was Cool spelled with a K. So this is a jokey getting around the limitations of licensing going on here, but I'm very pleased with this. It's a nice size. I thought at first it would be enormous. Some footage I've seen from New Wave Toys over the last year or so, I thought, dear Lord, this thing is going to be gigantic, but it's not too bad. Unfortunately, these little plungers don't do anything. You can't pull them. They're just sitting there, and even the coin mechanism doesn't do anything, but there's a texture to the wood grain. There's all the different, I mean, you got 4 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's. A little bit of a smudge there, that's okay. If I wanted to change out this thing, all I would do is push this back. And apparently you can push that back and it slides up. Mine's having a little bit of trouble. I'm not going to worry about it. There's a little bit of a scratch there as well. I'm not going to worry about it because I like the Cool with the blue mountains and stuff. That's the one that I remember. So I'm going to put the legs on and then we're going to plug this thing in and just see what it looks like all lit up. All right, legs are on. We've got a fairly lengthy, like 10-foot long cable plugged in here. And now, if I turn it on, now the snag is it doesn't have anything plugged into it, so I can't tell if anything happens, but that's it on. How do I know? Because there's now a little light here, which means if I plug items in there, that means that they're going to actually charge. We'll test that in a second. But if you wanted to just go that extra level, there's a button, a receded button at the top here. Now it lights up. You can't really tell that. Let me just reduce the brightness here a bit. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see that that's it lit up. It also has like a black screen, you know, glowing blue Tron-like connection, or is completely off. So we got on, black light, off. Very, very cool. And I do love all the details there. Oh, there is a bit of a smudge. Haha. I do have some dirt. You can see it there now that it's lit up. You know what? I'm not going to worry too much, though. That does give it kind of an authentic kind of a look. And I don't think that interrupts the styling too much. Some people have said, no problem, just pop that lid off, take this card out and just wipe around inside there. That's actually, you know what? That gives it something that makes it look more authentic. I'm going to stick with it. Just for comparison, here's the little bag. You can make out they have some tiny actual cigarettes there and a little, little pack of cigarettes and an ashtray and a lighter. If you want to go the whole hog with this idea, New Wave Toys have actually released a little miniature arcade thing and a guy who dispenses change for the kids, Ricky. He looks like he might be a smoker. Maybe you could give this to him. I don't know. But I thought that was a very cool additional touch. Now for a size comparison, let's just set the cigarette machine to the side. I've got one of my first New Wave Toys machines here, Tempest. I'm just going to raise you up and we'll just try out what it's like to charge this thing up. Tempest is the oldest in my collection and it loses its charge the fastest of the bunch. So I'm just going to take Tempest's USB, plug it in the back. We have a light. It's indicating it is charging. I assume that's coming out. Yeah, you can make it out. Yeah, so Tempest is charging. Fantastic. And there's a little symbol indicating that there. Great. And again, it's, you know, it's reaching, the cigarette machine is 6 inches tall, so it just about reaches the halfway mark of the Tempest logo on the side art. Not too bad. Okay, let's do a more recent example. Here is Berserk, which just came out a little while ago, and it has USB-C on the back. This thing does charge with USB-C. I've got a USB-C on both ends cable here. Let's plug that into Berserk. And we have light. I mean, yeah, there you go. Berserk does charge as well. So it'll do USB-C, it'll be normal USB-A. One other item that I think I'd like to add to the mix here, just for comparison and testing, an area in which the cigarette machine's really going to earn its stripes is here. I've also got this elevator action that I made myself. It doesn't, it's just a USB or micro USB, so it'll just use this cable, but with this thing plugged in here and all the other machines, I don't need to keep putting batteries into this thing, do I? Nope, it's working as well, and there are no batteries inside this thing, so there we go. Yeah, the little cigarette charger, let's put it onto blacklight mode here for something different. Yeah, the cigarette charger will work nicely as a way to charge all of my different machines, and it is definitely appropriate to the era. Like, I know it's silly for me to say that I'm not gonna, ooh, turn you off, you're way too noisy. I know it's silly for me to say that I'm not gonna get a Coke machine, that's unhealthy, and here I am with a cigarette machine, but this thing is so, so cool. No pun intended. Let me set it up on the shelf. Now here is the cigarette machine in what I think will be its final position on a shelf next to various other machines here. And I've got more up above, including the charge machine. I got Berserk, Tempest, all the rest of them. Ghouls and Ghosts is over here. Got a little bit of a wiring trick going on, but I think that'll all work. Chun-Li's looking after the My Arcade Street Fighter over there. And I've got Space Invaders down there with something I'll discuss in a sec. Let's fire it up and I'll just show you. Yes, these are all charging out of a wall outlet now and not relying on any battery power. As I turn on the cigarette machine, you can see Missile Command is now charging, so is 1942. Ghouls and Ghosts is wired up to it, so there we go. There is Ghouls and Ghosts doing its thing. And for these other guys, if I turn on the change machine, then Tempest continues to charge, and Berserk fires up, and Asteroids gets ready to charge up its battery too. And in fact, I've got, through a little bit of an extra wiring thing here, I've got elevator action also plugged into that. And yeah, if I wanted, I could fire up all these other guys, but just wanted to show you, yes, these are all now plugged in, ready to go. No batteries in any of these guys, so that's good. As you can see, I've got a little Space Invader themed clock for IK Junior, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, so the cigarette machine is very, very nice. I like it all fired up with all these other machines here. I won't turn on so you get a cacophony of sound effects going on here, but this thing is very, very cool. Again, I think it's ironic that I didn't want to get a Coke machine, but I will totally get a cigarette machine. Go figure. I'm going to leave it there. I don't know what else is coming from New Wave Toys, but I'll totally keep my eyes open. As you can see, I've got some spaces on some of these shelves. I've got that pole position coming as well, so who knows what else is in the future for me. But until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.